Good morning, everyone. Today we are going to start unit number 5, that is Web of Things and Cloud of Things. Okay. So these are the contents that we are going to see in this unit. That is, first we will see the Web of Things versus IoT, that is Internet of Things. Then we are going to see the two pillars of the web. Then architecture standardization of WoT. In that we are going to see the platform middleware for this WoT. Then we are going to see the unified multi-tier WoT architecture. Then WoT portals and business intelligence, cloud of things we are going to study. In that we are going to see the grid and SOA and cloud computing. Okay, then we are going to see the middleware, then cloud standards, cloud providers, mobile cloud computing, then cloud of things architecture that we are going to see in this unit. Okay, so these are the contents from the unit number 5. Okay, so we will start with the WoT. Okay, and or the difference between this WoT and IoT. Here you can see these structures or these are the several devices. Okay, so here you can see the number of devices are there, that these devices are connected through the IoT. Here you can see this. Okay, Internet of Things. That means connection, or the devices are connected to each others, that through the wired network or the wireless network. Okay, and the Web of Things, here you can see that we can access these devices through web. Okay, that means we are having a center controlling unit, or we are having the control center, so that we are going, or by using that web or internet, we are going to access that devices. Here you can see this through the, for example, we are having the control center for the hotel, or we are going to access this web camera through the web or through the internet. Okay, we are going to open, or we are going to control these devices through this network. Okay, so this is the simple example of the difference between these IoT and the WoT. Okay, so this, you know, that what is that IoT. Okay, so that we know the terminology like www, that is World Wide Web, and the internet. These terminologies are used to represent the vast network of interconnected computers that are distributed all over the world. Okay, so we know that internet refers to the actual connections, that connections may be your wired connections or wireless connections. Okay, or if we are using this www, so for that we are going to use that HTTP to access that addresses. Okay, so we know that HTTP is one of the protocol that is available to access, or to access the resources on the net. Okay, through that HTTP protocol we are going to access the resources through the internet. There are several protocols are also available for that. Okay, so we are having the different parts for this internet, like we are having the container that contains the www, email, FTP, P2P, chat, telnet. Okay, so that internet and www, that are treated as if they are interchangeable. Okay, but it's not like if that www can be considered as the most popular method as compared to internet. Okay, or in the internet. So here, this Web of Things, that WoT is considered as the next step of the IoT, or that IoT application. Okay, so that WoT focuses on data integration and interaction of objects. Remember this, that WoT is the next step of that IoT, and that WoT focuses on data integration and the interaction of the objects. So that WoT provides techniques, software architectural styles, and some programming approaches to allow the real world objects, or that things, to become a part of that WWW. Okay, so that Web of Things provides different ways to implement that IoT by integrating the web. That means web means your application layer and the network layer. Okay, so there are different examples are there, like we have seen that Arduino, Raspberry Pi, Beagle board. Okay, so These boards provides a way to realize that IoT based application. We can use these boards for the IoT based applications. Then now here you can see this example for this WOT. Here we are having the hotel control hotel. In that we are having the different rooms like 202, 203, like this. Okay. So here you can see the Lisa. Lisa is the guest. Okay. So you can place in that inside that room. You can control the temperature. Okay. You can or he or she can just turn off or turn on the lights. Okay. So here source for this like uh, that hotel is under the WOT. Okay, that means that IoT applications are there. Okay, that hotel is using that WOT. That means that control center or that owner of this application can manage the room services, enable or disable the room access for the guest, or overall they can control that rooms in that hotel. Okay, through this application or through the WOT. Okay, so see the difference between that WOT and the IoT. So the technologies like HTML, HTTP, and URL. Okay. So these technologies are coordinated with the TCP/IP protocol to provide a strong internet or strong base to the internet that we are going to use for these applications. Okay. So these applications were supported by the application servers. Okay, so there are some techniques or there are two pillars are there for this IoT and the WOT. Okay, so before that we are going to see the difference between the WOT and the IoT. Here see this IoT. We know that it basically controlling the different devices by establishing connection among these devices, or we are going to access the devices using the mobile app or the web browser. Okay, so that means we are going to interconnect the devices and we are going to control or we are going to access the devices through, or we are going to make the communication between these devices through mobile app or web browser. That is your IoT. And what is WOT here? It is a approach or a software architectural styles and programming patterns that allow real world objects to be part of that world wide web. Okay, that WOT is the next step to that IoT. Then IoT is about creating a network of objects, things, people, system, and applications. That means we are going to create a network of these things. Okay, and what WOT is, it tries to integrate that objects. Here, see this, we are going to create a network of these objects and things, and in the WOT we are going to try to integrate that objects, things, or the peoples and the system to the web. Okay, then IoT, the scope of IoT application is like it's broader and it includes system that is not accessible through the web, like conventional WSN or RFID system. Okay, these are not accessible by the web. Then the scope of this WT application is limited to web only. Okay, we can access these applications through the web only. Okay, then the approach to building WT is based on the RESTful principles. We have seen in the third unit that what is the REST APIs. Okay, WebSocket, SOAP, COAP. Then the approach for this WT is the RESTful principles and the REST APIs we are going to use for this WOT. Okay, so these are some points for the WOT versus IoT. Okay, and there are different applications based on the or for the WOT. Like here you can see the Japan Desert Map is a project that displays live radiation counter. Okay, live radiation counter across the Japan. Okay, so likewise there are several applications are there, like National Weather Study Project is there, that is mini weather stations in schools of Singapore. Okay, so these are the different applications of the WOT available. Then pillars of the web, there are two pillars, okay, of the web. That first pillar consists of the HTML, HTTP, URL, and that second pillar having the web browser, multi-tiered software architecture, and application server. Okay, so here this first pillar technique provides a way to describe a resources or a services, that how to locate it and how to distribute or transfer over the web. that it consists of the HTML, HTTP, or the URL. Okay, then applications provide a way to access the resources provided by the various service providers. Okay, that means your front end, and it consists of the HTML that is used to create resources and applications. That applications can be accessed over the internet. Okay, so that applications can be used to create electronic documents which can be viewed and shared via the internet through this HTML. Okay, and it that first pillar having the HTTP, that it is a technology that is used by the World Wide Web for defining how to format and transmit the messages, and how the web servers and browsers should work in the by giving the commands. Okay, and we know the URL. URL is the uniform resource locator. Okay, that helps to locate, or resources are located with the help of this URL. Okay, so this is the first pillar of the web. Okay, and the second pillar consists of web browsers, multi-tier software architectures, and application servers. Okay, so this second pillar technique provides a way to access the resources or services via URLs. Okay, so these web browsers provide a way to access the resources that are defined in the first pillar using the URL. Okay, using URL, we are going to locate the resources, and we are going to access that resources using, or in the second pillar, by using the web browser. Okay, so browser takes users to a location where they can utilize the services that are defined with the help of the first pillar. Then application servers. Okay, application servers in the second pillar, these are the software framework that provides an environment where an application can run. Okay, so this application server offers facilities like APIs, runtime libraries, programming languages, database connectivity that makes the application development and the administration easier. Okay, and the multi-tier software architecture, that means it is a design for web application that separates the implementation perspective and makes the data management easier through this multi-tier software architecture. So these are the two pillars of the web. Okay, then your next point is your WoT architecture, or the architecture standardization for the WoT. Okay, so in that section, we are going to see the frameworks and the standards that are used in the four pillars of IoT that we have seen in the fourth unit, that is MPM, RFID, SCADA, and WSN with respect to that WoT. Okay, then we are going to see the multi-tier WoT architecture and some business intelligence that are implemented worldwide. Okay, so there are four layers are there in this architecture. Okay, here you can see this that network things are there, NFCs, QR codes are there. These are the device IoT devices. You can see this is network things. Okay, NFC is there, 6 loop WPAN is there, thread is there, Ethernet, Wi-Fi, 3G, 4G, 5G. Okay, so these are the network things. Okay, all are the network things. You can access these things through the network. And the first layer is your access layer. That first layer consists of your protocols, your, you can see this APIs. Okay, HTML, JSON, WebSocket, proxies, gateways. Okay, then your second layer is to find. Okay, that to find is a REST crawler is there, search engines are there. Okay, then third layer is your share. Okay, that means social networks, where we are going to share these things. Okay, on how we are going to secure these things through the network. Then layer 4 is your compose, that means integration is there. Okay, that web applications are there. Okay, so that WoT pillars, we have seen that what the WoT pillars consist of. That we are having two pillars. That first pillar focuses on describing service, how to locate and how to transfer. Okay, that HTML is used to create the resource. HTTP is used to define the format to transmit the messages. URL is to locate the resources. Okay, And the second pillar focuses on how to access the resources or how to design that web applications and how to run them. Okay, so to eh, through that URL, we are going to look at the resources, and through web browsers, we are going to access that resources. Okay, then multi-tier architecture, that means how to design that web applications through that architecture. Then application servers, how to run web applications, that is your database connectivity. Okay, then in the architecture standardization, your first point is your platform middleware for or platform middleware for the WOT. So we know that what is middleware, that middleware of the WOT applications, and that IoT as well focuses on communication interface and applications business logic in depth. Okay, so that middleware for WOT helps to bring the IoT applications to the World Wide Web. Okay, so that WOT tries to connect everyday objects like domestic appliances, sensors, actuators, and some other embedded systems, and provide a unified applications. That means we are going to connect the everyday objects. Okay, home appliances, sensors. Okay, to realize this application sense of IoT, WOT uses object-oriented approach. Okay, to view everything as an object. So that object means your devices or the things we are going to connect. That is your to realize that application or to realize that object, that things as an object. It uses the object-oriented approach. Okay, so many techniques like object-oriented design, JavaScript object-oriented object notation, that is JSON, document object model, that is DOM. These are the famous techniques for the WOT. Okay, so that is these are the platforms. These are the platform middlewares for this WOT. Okay, so these are the techniques or these are the middleware techniques or middleware platforms that we are going to use for this WOT. Okay, so like here you can see this M2M, M2M middleware standards. Okay, so European Telecommunication Standards instead of ETSI. It is working for the M2M standards. Or while working with this, working for the standards, it resolves like network routing, synchronous communication, subscribe model, uniform data storage model, then language independent. Okay, so there are different key points, key elements for this M2M standardizations are there, like M2M device, M2M area network, M2M gateway, M2M communication network, then M2M application server. So M2M device. So these are the devices that are able to sense the data and transfer that data to expected device regularly or based on the request. Okay. Then M2M area network. So this layer provides connectivity between these devices, M2M devices, and the M2M gateway. Okay, so this M2M area network provides the connectivity between these M2M devices. For example, uh, like short range devices, Bluetooth, KNX, Modbus. Okay, so to provide the connectivity between these two devices, okay, M2M area network is used. Okay, then M2M gateway. M2M gateway makes sure that the M2M devices are interconnected with each other and coordinates via the available communication network. Okay, then M2M communication network, it provides platform for connecting the M2M application servers like WiMAX, WLAN, satellite. Okay, and the M2M application server, that application server manages the data processing through various applications and how it is used for business logics, like M2M middleware handles three core layers like M2M gateway, communication network, and application server. So these are the key elements of M2M middleware standards. Okay, have you understood? Everyone understood the difference between the IoT and the WOT, then two pillars of the web, then the platform middlewares for the which platforms they are going to use for the WOT, what are available, which platforms are available for this WOT, then the key elements, W M2M middleware standards or the key elements of the standards. Yes, everybody understood? Anybody having any doubt till now? Yes. Is there any doubt? Yes, am I audible? Is there any doubt till now? Yes, Warner Apurva. Is there any doubt? Everybody? Yes, Shinde Manjusha, have you understood the platform middleware of WOT? Am I audible to everyone? Yes, Thora Preeti.
Yes, sir.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Have you understood this platform middleware?
Oh, sir.
Okay. So your next point is platform middleware of WT is WSN middleware. Okay, so WSN means your wireless sensor network. Okay, so this approach is done by the ubiquitous sensor network, USN. Okay, so this WSN, that is a Open Geospatial Consortium Sensor Web Enablement, that is OGC SW. It is working for this WSN standardization. So the goal of this WSW is creation of web-based sensor networks to make all sensors and repositories of sensors data discoverable, accessible, and where applicable, controllable via World Wide Web. Okay, so that means to access all this data or to control this data through the on the via World Wide Web by using this WSN. Okay, so this WSN, it enables discovery of sensors, processes, and observations, tasking of sensors or models, then access to observations and observation streams, publish subscribe capabilities for alerts. Okay, so that WSN having the different components like USN application platform, okay, USN middleware, then network infrastructure, USN gateways, sensor networks. So these are the different components. So before that, we will see the different web service specifications that are being produced by the OGC SW working group, like sensor observation services, sensor planning services, sensor alert service, web notification service. Okay, these are the services that are produced for the that produced by the OGC SW group for the WSN middleware. Okay, then the USN ubiquitous sensors networks standardization is working for this WSN standardization. USN is a conceptual network or it is a framework built over existing physical networks that makes use of sense data and provide the knowledge services. Okay, for this WSN. So the main components of this USN like USN application and service platforms, USN middleware, network infrastructure, USN gateway, sensor network. So first one is your USN applications and the service platforms. So this layer provides a technical framework for application development and service delivery. This technology framework is to enable the effective use of USN. Okay. Then the middleware, USN middleware. This layer provides functionalities for sensor connectivity. Middleware is for sensor connectivity, network management, and sensor data mining and event management. Okay. For that USN middleware is there. For the then next one is your network infrastructure. It makes use of existing networks instead of creating new ones. Okay, so this infrastructure, it uses the existing networks instead of creating a new one. Okay, then USN gateways. So gateways are used to connect sensor networks with other networks to increase reach of devices. Okay, so it makes the faster performance or better performance. Okay, if we are going to use gateways to connect the sensor networks with the other networks, that means we are going to connect the two networks to access this or to reach the devices. And last one is the sensor networks. Okay, so this is the core network of sensor interconnected via IP based addressing directly or using gateways. Okay, that is network of interconnected sensor nodes. So these are the main components of this USN for this WSN middleware standards. Okay, and the next middleware is or the next standard is SCADA middleware standards. Okay, so we have seen this SCADA in the third unit that it focuses on the industrial automation using IoT mechanisms. Okay, so this SCADA standardization provides a framework for information exchange model, device interfaces, services, protocols, and software object modeling. Okay, so this SCADA middleware platform focuses on the uh, some points in the industry automations like interaction, communication mechanism, context, secure distributed storage, additional tools, then the proactive knowledge base. Okay, so these are the components of the SCADA middleware that that this middleware platform focuses on these points. Okay, so that SCADA is used for the industry automation. Okay, so that interaction, first point is interaction. So in this type, it manages the interactive interfacing between the users or the human controllers and the smart objects that are distributed in the industry to interact with to or we are going to manage the interactive interfacing between this what we can say the smart objects or these users. Okay, then the communication mechanism, so the information exchange between different smart objects are distributed in the industry, so these communication mechanisms are used for that. Then the context in SCADA defines the conditions that form the setting for particular event. Okay, that means it manages the data distribution and processing according to the context. Okay, in the industry. Then the secure distributed storage, that this layer manages the secure storage of the information that is generated, that information is generated from the smart objects in the industry. Okay, to manage that to manage that or the secure that storage of that information. Okay, that secure distributed storage is there. And that next one is the additional tools that tools are available using which the operators or the editors can perform manual work on the SCADA system. Okay, so these are the uh, different pillars that we have seen, the three pillars, that is M2M, WSN, and the SCADA. Okay, and another pillar is there, that is RFID middleware standards. Okay, so this architecture standardization for this WOT consists of these four pillars. Okay, from that we have seen the platform middleware for the WOT. That first we have seen the M2M middleware standards. Then second one is WSN middleware standards and the SCADA middleware standards. Okay, so that's it for today's session. We will stop here. If you are having any doubt, you can ask. Feel free to ask. Yes, anybody having any doubt? Yes, if you are having any doubt, you can ask about WOT, about the platform, difference between WOT and IoT, pillars, two pillars are there of the web. Yes, anybody having any doubt? Feel free to ask. कोणाला काय डाऊट आहे का? Everybody unmute yourself. Yes, थोरात
नो सर.
काय समजले?
समजलंय सर, काही डाऊट नाही.
आपण काय समजले? Okay, tell me the different platforms, platform middleware, different platforms are available for the WOT. What are they?
M2M middleware standard.
Okay, so no, these are the standards. I'm asking about the platforms. Different platforms are there. Many techniques. We have seen that different techniques are available for this WOT. Yes, anyone? Different techniques are there. Anyone? Different techniques are there for these, or different platforms are there for this WOT. Which are there? We have seen that object-oriented design is there, JSON is there, common object request broker architecture is there, document object model is there. Okay. So anyone tell me about the SCADA middleware standards? Pallavi Fopse, unmute yourself. Yes, Pallavi, are you there?
हॅलो सर.
Tell me about the SCADA middleware standard. Where we have seen SCADA middleware.
सर मी आता जॉईन झाले, माहित नाही.
नोटीस बघितली नव्हती का?
नाही.
ओके, गुड. Okay, so anybody having any doubt related to this middlewares? Divya Nirmal.
येस सर.
Okay, tell me something about that SCADA middleware standard, where we have seen this SCADA standardization. We have seen in the third unit as well, right? Yes, Divya. समजले सर्वांना? काही समजलं नसेल तर विचारा. I'm asking questions, you are not responding to that questions. Yes, Vaishali. बोलणारे वैशाली. Okay, we will stop here. That's it for today's session. We will continue in the next session from the RFID middleware standards. Okay. Thank you. You can do the session now.